Sup, nerds, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. We have a lot of goals to get on to today. We did get our ranches set up last time. We are moving on to a fully carnivorous diet, but that means that we can now start moving on to our next things. First of all, I want to take a look at our colony goals. We have two big ones that we're going for right now that are sort of time dependent. Locavore, where we need to eat 400,000 calories of food without planting anything. We're already up to 306,000. That's pretty good. And carnivore, where we need to make sure to eat 400,000 calories of critter meat before the 100th cycle. That one we're behind on. 72,000, we need 400,000 by the 100th cycle. We're upping the number of duplicates, and if we just do the math of 44 days times 11,000 calories a day, we'll get there. I'm I'm going to be bringing in dupes as quickly as possible for that, but it's going to be close. So we need to be making sure that nobody is eating anything except for meat. So goodbye, everything else. There we go. It's barbecue. It's only barbecue for everyone from this point on. What that means is we do need to make sure we have at least one chef, but preferably two. And thankfully, looking at our duplicate skills that we have going, our newbie here, Rowan, is in fact a cook. Or we can make him one. He enjoys cooking. We're not going to do that right away. We're going to put him on carrying capacity as well, just to keep that moving along. But our second skill point for him, we're definitely putting into cooking, and it shouldn't take too long for the first skill point to come through. You don't get a hat yet, Rowan. You do get a chef's hat. Congratulations, Travoldo. We're also going to work on coring out our main base. Freya down here got trapped. We're and that just kind of inspired me to start in the background getting all of this laid out to start grabbing every last little bit of resources here. That's going to be fun to get through. It's going to be a little bit of work, and water will be an issue, so we're also making a giant water tank down here. Yay, fun. The big thing, though, is that we also, as we're getting more duplicates, well, it turns out oxygen is not included, so we're going to need to get our oxygen creation that I've talked about for I think a couple episodes now finally online when we get that going. Gonna turn this on, just let them start moving. Food is finishing up its last automation, which is getting up here to be either caught into the grill or put right into the fridge. The sweeper will handle all of that for us, so dupes don't need to be going running back and forth there anymore. We have plenty of animals. We have our evolution chamber set up. I also want to look at this, which is a teleporter that will go over to another world. This is Pidgeol. If we take a look here, it gets copper meteor showers, ice meteor showers, and slime meteor showers. It also has some interesting geysers. Liquid sulfur is going to be good for keeping our Sweetles fed, and oil is going to be good when we move into that part of the game, which will be once Super Sustainable is done. If we take a look at our homeworld here, I noticed something. Among all the different geysers, we don't have oil. There is no petroleum biome in this world, no oil biome. So if I was already avoiding oil usage, now I have double the reason to because I don't even have any I could use. Toilets are a little short. That's true. I need to change schedules. Pretty easy. We just duplicate the row. No, we just duplicate the whole schedule. We rename it just to schedule 2. I don't want shift alarms on either schedule actually. And all we do is we shift everything to the right. So these two are going to wake up a little later and go to sleep a little later than everyone else. It's the same amount of time for everything. They're just going to be on their own shift. We'll move Rowan and Travaldo onto that, our newbies. That way Travaldo can be cooking while everybody else is eating too. Yeah, nothing huge there. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. I'm wanting to get out over there. I'm wanting to core out. I want to explore. I look down here. There is what looks like this looks like it's another volcano to me, and then this looks like it's probably a geyser of some kind. There's also probably some up, some to the sides. So we're going to be sending out little shoots once we're done with all the projects in this main area and exploring all that. Also, I need to go in and disable auto harvest on all these plants since we don't eat plants anymore. One moment. Without the pinch of food, it's time to look into some more technologies as well. We're going to work on better power transmission, getting conductive wire, which will be able to hold more charge in it. That's going to be a thing as we expand out. We are also going to want to. Yeah, medical beds are probably something we're going to want to get just to be safe. Anything else I can think of? No, not really. Just right now, this is the core of it. Mm. Using doing research also uses water. Oh, better liquid pipes and so on too. Yeah. Okay. So we'll work on just basic liquid distribution, air distribution, some refinement. Yeah, desalinator would be nice. Things like that. But we're going to start with better wires. Realize that the outhouses were dropping polluted dirt, which is probably part of why we always have so much gross polluted oxygen here. We're starting to swap them out for proper bathrooms. I probably should have done uh, plumbing first, but they can use the bathrooms and just fill it up. They can use them once each. So as long as I get it done before the end of the day, that should be fine. And we can see that this process is relatively quick, not when I put it up in the air like that. Try that again. But yeah, we want to get rid of this polluted dirt, get it tucked away somewhere. And so we've made a slightly high priority storage chest here that's just going to take polluted dirt, rot, slime when we get there, anything that's going to emit polluted oxygen, and tuck it here so that the deodorizer can deal with it. Hopefully that should help cut down on base contamination a bit. Yeah, there it's going. It's getting picked up. Freya is starving, and we have. Okay. Maybe it was a little too early to cut off on all the food options. We'll get there soon, but right now, Freya, you can eat. In fact, you should go eat right now. Freya, Freya, please eat. You're down to 700 calories. What are you doing? Unreachable. Oh no, did you get stuck again? Oh no. Oh no. This is red alert because somebody's going to die if we don't handle this. Get that built, get that built. What is going on here? There we go. Freya, are you good? Hey, where's Freya? Not getting any warnings. Oh no, the bathrooms. Well, we're gonna have a little bit of a mess tomorrow, I think, but where is she? Here she is, heading up. Has she eaten somehow? Nope, but it looks like she'll be able to make it there in time. Okay. Alright, everything's good. We are a little low on calories, so I'm really hoping this cleans up. Yeah, made a mess. That's going to be happening a little. Yeah, until we get these fixed up. Sorry, everyone. Gross. I know I should have planned that a little better. Regardless, how this works is we'll just run some pipes here, pop them up into the input, and then eventually, I'll show you how it works. We'll get these ones into output. Those all here. Going to run them in like this, let them be polluted as they come into these reservoirs, which will feed into each other. And then this last one will feed into our sieve here, which the sieve will, when it's ready, feed back into these pipes. We'll connect that at the very end. We need to get some water into the system initially. So the way we do that is just with a basic liquid pump down here. Can just put it right there. Gonna be taking that out immediately. It's temporary. I'm sure people are getting a little skeptical hearing that from me, but I promise it all is. Yeah, so we'll get that done. We need to prioritize all this as lower priority than everything else. So just make that these fours. Like I do not care as much about pouring out all this stuff than as I do getting our bathrooms running. That should help. We are seeing the water tank idea. It's just going a little lower than I'd intended it to. Got another blueprint. Our food is too low at the moment to bring in another duplicant, as much as I hate to admit that. Next time we should be able to, but one more at the moment is striking us. We'll just grab some bristleberries for some free food that some people can eat. At least temporarily. We do have the base toilets up. We're getting all the pipes and everything laid out. Everybody's wading through a sea of urine, but I guess sometimes that's how life is on the asteroid. What did that do in terms of disease? Not too much actually. There's some around, but we'll disinfect those specific ones when it's time. Once we have everything else set up. This is going to be doing a number on morale, and that's why if you look, I'm not spending these skill points because I want that morale buffer while there's a very high likelihood that I'm going to mess things up. Oh, as for polluted water sinks, this lets me talk about something that I meant to talk about a while ago, which is that density is a thing in this game. You might have noticed carbon dioxide sinking to the bottom, oxygen staying on top. If we start bringing other gases in, hydrogen floats above oxygen, and uh, chlorine, I believe, sinks below oxygen but above carbon dioxide. Natural gas is at the bottom. This is just density. Things sort in this game according to density. Polluted water is heavier than fresh water. Polluted water will sink to the bottom. It's honestly one of the things I appreciate the most about this game, aside from things like the fact that conservation of energy is a thing and all that. We're getting the last of the pipes put in right now, and we are going to get the pump finished, and it should be going basically right away. Fantastic. Can switch to our pipe view, which is this one. Watch it go through. My goal is to basically have all these full and ready to go, be used, and then we just snip this away. And we connect this pipe right here. Didn't used to be a base feature of the game that you could use these like that, but it was a popular mod that the devs saw fit to add in, and I thank them for that. I really, really thank them for that. I'll make sure to mop up all the rest of the polluted water. It's fine. All that's going to be going into the storage tank anyway. This is going to be a storage tank for all forms of water. Anyway, there's our bathrooms cleaned up. Now we need to get the sinks as well. I'm going to be a little less intense about that. We'll leave one of these stations up at all times. Wow, they're immediately using the bathroom, which gets me a chance to show this. So the liquid will move into these water reservoirs, these liquid reservoirs, move between them, go here, get filtered through. This isn't plugged in. We are still getting warnings about insufficient oxygen production. The reason I'm not concerned about it is because if we look at our algae, wherever that is, there it is, we're still sitting on over 40 tons of it, or almost 40 tons of it. That'll last us for at least long enough to get the oxygen machine going. We can even add another diffuser, and I just might if we keep getting the warning. I'm just going to do it. What am I talking about? So these are just vessels that are going to be around until we get everything else set up. Another 12,000 calories of barbecue never went awry, though we're doing pretty well now. We're up to, with that, 65,000. We have been just getting so much. We even have our new little hatches over here who will keep our population going. And we are nearly finished with this. Full explanation coming shortly. And here we are, the full Rodriguez, done and complete. Let me try to explain this. So, the very first thing you need to know with this machine are these electrolyzers. These are machines that take water and, as I said, split it into hydrogen and oxygen. That's good for us. I did this wrong. Whatever, I'll fix that in a moment. So they split the water into hydrogen and oxygen. And if we go to the pipes menu, you can see just the water will flow in there. We'll get that connected in a bit. The hydrogen is lighter than the oxygen. When we let this run long enough, they will naturally separate out, and the hydrogen will form pressure up here that keeps the oxygen down. The oxygen will form pressure that keeps the hydrogen up. This whole section will fill with hydrogen, which means that this gas pump that's drawing from this area will only pull hydrogen. The hydrogen will go up. First, it will. I did this wrong too. One moment while I fix my small mistakes. There we go. I went ahead and built out the liquid pipe too. It's just going to draw from this huge water tank I've made, run up here, feed into these electrolyzers. We have radiant liquid pipes in order to absorb as much energy as possible from around this area to get all the heat sucked into this, because it's not going to be above 70 degrees by the time it gets into these electrolyzers. But when it comes out of the electrolyzers, the gas is going to be 70 degrees, which which means that anything that we absorb in is functionally destroyed. It's not changed at all. It will help keep these buildings a little cool, though they're all made of gold amalgam, which is why I got it from up there. Because gold amalgam, when we take a look at the properties of this building, where is it? Here we go. When we take a look at the properties, the overheat temperature is 125 degrees C now because it got an extra 50 C from gold amalgam. It's technically overkill. I don't mind overkill. This whole thing, by the way, is grossly over-engineered and far more than the population we have at the moment needs, but it's going to be perfect for the population we're going to get within the next 100 cycles or so, because this thing can give oxygen for up to 30 duplicants. Now, as I was saying, water goes in, turns into hydrogen, which goes up here, gets trapped. Hydrogen gets up there, oxygen goes down here, and it will get pumped out into the base. Right now, this is all we have. I'll explain why that is in a moment. Oh, we also need to finish that over there. I'll get somebody assigned to that. I'm very confused. Unreachable build. Well, we'll make it reachable. Regardless, that's not going to stop this. Not going to stop this at all. Also, how's there carbon dioxide in that pipe already? Meh, whatever. When the hydrogen gets out of here, it's going to go here. If this whole section up here is empty, it's going to pop into this gas pipe and head up here, where it is going to flow along. I messed this up very slightly. Very slightly. Just I mirrored from the design I was working on. Easy, easy, easy fix. Go to the ventilation. After we do that snipping, take the copper ore, because that's all I'm using with it, and just connect up like this instead. Right. Point of that is that this is going to cool down all these machines up here and feed into these 4 points. What are those 4 points? Well, those are our hydrogen generators. Our hydrogen generators will take the hydrogen, turn it into power, and that power will be enough to run this whole operation. Hence why it is a self-powered oxygen module, SPOM. We will keep the hydrogen in check with itself, basically. It will run off of the smart battery, which will trigger when it's below 10%. It's going to activate all of these to bring it up to 95%. We just want a little flexibility on the other side to make sure that it's not burning off more than the, actually we'll do it to 90, more than the battery can take at a given point, just to account for any delays and be efficient. Any hydrogen that doesn't get into this chain goes over here into these hydrogen storage containers. If these right here are transformers, I've mentioned before that power has a limit as to what it can have on any cable. If we take a look at the basic wires we've been using, they can have up to 1,000 watts before they start having overheating issues. Conductive wires can have up to 2,000 watts, so that is enough to hold, well, honestly, if we take a look at power, easiest way to get there is this. That's enough to run almost everything. It's enough to run all these gas pumps, these two electrolyzers, and it comes off of this transformer. These large transformers are able to think of them as gates that make it so that the wires won't short out. Large ones bring it to 2,000 watts. Small ones bring it to 1,000. Large ones technically can go up to 4,000, but we're not using any cables like that. The general rule is to use the cheapest cable. And then up here, we're using super heavy watt, like thick pieces of cable that took a ton of refined metal, and that's to power all of these hydrogen generators. We have little automation devices in here that the gas pressure is at the level it should be in order to trigger. This one is on this gas pump, and these two are on these 6 down here. So right now, as we're getting started, the very first thing we need to do, unfortunately, is make this all a vacuum. This will not work unless this is all a vacuum. It sucks. It's annoying, but we're going to send a green signal if it's above 0 for all of these. Trigger them all on. Nice thing about these is dupes don't need to get in there and mess with this. I can. The player gets control over the automation functions usually. And we have this little manual generator in order to fill a battery to run these, at least temporarily, until we're able to get all the gas out. It's going to take a bit to get it all done. The airlocks are for access in order to get things working. But yeah, we're just going to go until all these gases are out. That's why this little gap's here, if you noticed it, just to keep things flowing out. Oh, we have new printables. What do we have? I'll take Alveo Vera. We're doing great on calories, by the way. We are well on par to get this Carnivore achievement done. 350k out of 400k. It will be done by cycle 93, 94, which is wonderful, since that is the last limited time achievement where we have to have it done by a certain point. So as people wake up, we should get somebody taking a jog on this manual generator. We should actually up its priority to 7, just because it's very important to me that this gets done relatively efficiently. What are you doing? You're doing all that. Yep, that's your job. Good. Keep doing your job. There we go. Oh, no, 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 no. This does not need to be running right now. And nor does this. Send green signal if above 20,000 grams. We actually don't want this running at all. I really hope. Ooh. Well, we're going to get some damage to the hydrogen generators. That's why these airlocks are here, just in case any little mess ups happen and we need to break in and fix it. There's always something. Hopefully it all just sits at the end here and we don't have to worry about it. But no, I think it's all going to go into this first one and damage it. We might be able to repair that from outside, actually. I'm hoping so. We'll just run this down here like that. Put that wire in, and we'll snip it right here. Separate those out, make this a separate chain, and we'll just run these bottom ones to empty everything out. But you can already see the hydrogen is sitting on top of the oxygen, and so things are working exactly as planned, just we didn't actually want that running yet. So I get on these? Thank you. There we go. So this will all just get pumped out, sent out over here. It's all normal gases except for the hydrogen. Now that's in there, which I didn't want hydrogen. It's going to gather up here. It's going to be a little annoying as we expand upward, but you know, not the worst thing in the world when it comes to it. Oh wait, no, it's probably all going to go up here as we filter out. We'll keep an eye on things. If it's just hydrogen and oxygen in here, I really don't mind. They make good heat transfer mediums between everything. In fact, are we there? Is there any CO2 left? That might be good enough. I think I'm ready to call that good enough. All right. With that, we'll seal in with this last insulated tile. We'll keep this running just until all this is done, because when this opens, you know, somebody's going to run in, trigger it all, bring gas in again. Starvation keeps popping up briefly, but it's a lie. People have plenty to eat. They're just forgetting to. Yeah, there's carbon dioxide in here for sure, but I think it just got sucked up. Take a look at the gases going through. Yeah, a little carbon dioxide, a little hydrogen getting out. And that's about it. Well, with that all working, we're going to go ahead and take this conductive wire, plug it back in. Easy as that. We're going to lock this. This needs to be above 400 Gs of pressure when that goes off, and these need to be above 600 Gs of pressure when they go off. Of course, there's immediately carbon dioxide that was in there. Of course there was. We'll let it all clear out until it's functionally going. It's starting to separate, so I went ahead and turned them on. There's still going to be some wrong element damage as the last of this oxygen cleans out, but since it's already damaged, I don't mind too much. There we go. The last little bits of oxygen have been processed, the hydrogen is flowing through, and the machine is powering itself. This can all be deconstructed. Clear all that out, and we can rest assured in the knowledge now that we are getting oxygen out into the base. Go ahead and unlock this just to let people get in and repair that. It's not going to flow down into the gas area, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, we have that, and we are so close to the colony being at this carnivore achievement that I'm just going to wait until that's done now. In the meantime, I've made this water tank. I think it might be time to start trying to bring water into it. Well, there's a very good source of water. Well, no, I'm not going to tap this yet, not until we're able to deal with the polluted water that's in there. We did get another achievement: oxygen not occluded. Distribute 1,000 kilograms of oxygen using gas vents. I realized also that the solution to the polluted water was very simple. We're just going to throw a sieve right here and connect it in to the system. I don't think the sieve uses very much power when it runs. Actually, 120 watts, it might be too much. Never mind on that. There we go. We just are connecting the sieve to the main power spine that we have. Might have to extend that out a little to get there. These ladders are just because these are kind of open construction zones at this point. Ooh, new printables. Hey, let's take a suit. One of the achievements is to get everybody in suits, so we'll go for that while we're doing everything else. That's still damaged. There's a world in which I mess around with these tiles to get in there and fix that. I'm not sure I'm in that world, but there is one that exists. In the meantime, we've got this connected. This sieve is hardly going to have to run at all. It will only run when polluted water goes through it. In the meantime, it's just going to let water pass through and keep this system fully up and running. We are going to need to extend these pipes out through the whole base to even out the oxygen flow, but as you can see, we are no longer being warned of insufficient oxygen production. Thank God. Next step is going to be going out to some of these vents, finding what is here. We know there's a saltwater geyser. We know there's a cool slush geyser. I'm willing to bet that's the cool slush geyser. Things that we want to tap in order to keep our production up. And then it's also going to be time to maybe look into getting some space program going or maybe an industrial sector. In any case, this episode has gone quite a ways. I'm definitely going to have to take some time to edit it, but thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And as we leave, Lindsay has just taken a bite of meat. Let's watch this play out. Steve has joined, and as we consume some of these last calories of barbecue that we've needed in quite some time, could be any moment now. Colony achievement earned. Carnivore. 8 cycles remaining. We're still on track to get super sustainable. We've done Locavore, we've done Carnivore. This is most of the ones that are able to be missed, basically. With that, I'll leave you all. Have a great rest of your day.